Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Naz. Thanks for coming back for another video. Today's story time will be about why I don't go bar hopping no more. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified anytime I post a video. Remember, you're a baddie. And oh my mama, they didn't get it wrong. So bunny. Also, for part one of this story time, it starts with this girl. We're just gonna call her her name. Her name is Hannah. And we were working at a daycare together. My homegirl at the time, we're just gonna call her Maddie, was like, she wasn't feeling this girl. For the whole time I've been there, she wasn't feeling her. You know, something about her was just not sitting right with her. And I was just like, you know what, you know, she's kind of cool with me, so I don't have no beef with her, and I'm always friendly to everyone. So I was like, don't matter to me, I'll be friends with her. Y'all, I should have listened to my homegirl's intuition. Okay, I should have listened. I should have sat down and I should have listened. But instead, I went out with this girl and had the worst experience ever, and it stopped me from going bar hopping altogether. But I'm going back out this weekend because we're just tired of sitting in the house. Okay, so anyways, so I had another homegirl at this daycare, so her name was Faith. So me, Faith, and Hannah, we had decided we were gonna go bar hopping because me and Faith had went bar hopping multiple times before, and you know, downtown Houston, or it was on Washington Street. We went to Washington Street, we went to Main Street, and I think those are the only two places we went. We had such a good time, so I was like, oh yeah, Hannah, you should come out with us. Da, 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 da. But Hannah got fired. A whole bunch of stuff had happened in between. Hannah don't work there no more, and Hannah was like, you know what, sure, because we had allegedly, before anybody sees this, allegedly we had all smoked, and I was like, you know what, you should come out with us. And Hannah was like, yeah, okay. And I thought she was a pretty cool girl until she started low-key tripping on the weed. I don't know what was happening with her because we all smoked the same thing. I just know it affects people differently, allegedly. So why, before we even go out for that weekend or whatever, she was like, she wants to do a group call because this boy named Seattle was coming back in town. And mind you, Seattle's in the military. Sorry, y'all, I just hit this something. Seattle's in the military, or he's in the Marines. He's in some kind of your sergeant kind of situation. Okay? And she's been on him since high school. So I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. So we get on the FaceTime call. It's Seattle and all his homeboys who's supposed to be coming out that night. And they're trying to convince us to go somewhere else instead of Washington Street. But I'm like, no, I'm not really feeling that. Faith's like, no, she's not really feeling that. But Faith, either she was on the call and she was quiet, or she didn't answer. Or no, she didn't answer. So she wasn't on the call. So it was just me, Hannah, and them. And they were talking to us. And I ain't gonna lie, he was like, what's the plans? One of the guys said, and I was just kind of like, oh well, we might have a section somewhere. It just depends on this other guy, because use men for their money, y'all, please. We don't pay for nothing. Literally every time I went to Washington Street, y'all may call me ugly, you may call me fat and everything else under the sun, but I've only left with lip gloss and ID and still gotten drunk. That tells you something. So she was just kind of like, I was kind of not feeling it, the way it was kind of questioning our plans. And I was like, how you gonna question the plans when you're getting invited out to come out with us, and if we got in a section, you were getting in a section as well? And so I was telling Hannah that, like, after the phone call, and she was just kind of like, you know, no, you just gotta get to know them, they're all kind of funny, you know. He was just trying to shout because his homeboy's on the call. And I was like, oh, so he's one of them. Red flag number one, should have never went out with them. But the homeboy's actually, you know, being cooler than her. That's the crazy part. So I'm gonna bring up this guy. His name is the banker. That's what we're gonna call him. Me and the banker have been talking for a couple of weeks at a time, and I met him through a date nap. And he, that same night we were going out, he went to a baseball or a basketball game. I forget which season it was. No, it was a basketball game. So I had invited him to come out that night as well. And well, he invited himself, but I'm gonna just, you know what, I'm gonna tell the truth. He invited himself because once I told him I was going out, he was like, he wanted to link. I was like, okay, don't see no problem with it. As long as you're coming to me, I'm not coming to you. That's never been my motto, never been my thing, and never will be. Have a man always come to you, ladies. So then when it comes to the night of us going out, Faith says, oh, you know, she can't go or something like that. She makes up some BS excuses to why she can't come out. And I know she was lying about it because she told me afterwards, yeah, I just didn't want to go. And I was like, girl, why you ain't just say that? Because then I would have stayed home. Or I would have stayed with you, girl. I would have went to your crib. We would have had another little sleepover. But homegirl wasn't doing it. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. So once I had peeped that, I was in the middle of doing my makeup and I was getting ready. And I was kind of didn't want to go, but at this point, I didn't have no choice. Now I'm going to show you exhibit A. I was wearing an orange crop top, some khaki pants. Anyway, so while I'm doing my makeup, I'm telling Hannah like, oh, Faith's not coming no more. And she was like, oh, okay, really, why? And I was like, I told her the same excuse Faith told me. Like that you know, whatever excuse I can't remember what excuse she told me. Whatever excuse she told me at that time, that's what I told Hannah. And Hannah was like, okay, me and Seattle are on the way to come get you. Mind you, it took me 30 minutes to finish my makeup. And I was like, oh no, come in 30 minutes. And she was like, okay, because we wanted to leave before 9. Because if you get there past a certain time, then the clubs or the bars don't be as lit as possible, or as lit as they usually are. When you get there during prime time, you know the bars down here are closed at 2. So you really got to get there at 10. Well, 9:30. You got to get down there at 9:30. And you got to go to like different bars. Okay? So anyways, so I'm wondering what's taking her so long. So I text her because it's 5 minutes past the time she's supposed to pick me up. And she was like, oh, my bad, girl. We on the way for over this time. Mind you, she lives down the street. It's only a 10-minute drive from where I live. And so then she finally comes. This girl comes. But when she gets out the car, she got this white dress and cowgirl boots on. And all I kept thinking about was,
bitch, you gonna step on my fucking toe, bitch, with them fucking cowgirl fucking boots, bitch, disgusting.
I'll give you some other shoes because, you know, if you wanted to wear shoes, I got you. Or I can give you some heels because I had actually, at first I wore heels, and then when we were in the car, I put on shoes. So she was like, no, it's okay. And then I was like, why is she so bouncy? Like, she was just acting off. And at first I thought it's because she smoked. But no, the whole time is she pre-gamed before she even got to my house. But backstory onto why she was late is because her and Seattle was sleeping around. And I was like, girl, if you wanted to have sex before you came to my house, why you ain't just say that? Instead of making up an excuse like, oh, because I forgot what she told me originally. But she told me something to where I was just like, something don't make sense. But okay. So I'm like, and she was like, no, I want to wear my cowgirl boots. And I was like, girl, where we going is not like a Texas hoedown kind of thing. This is not Texas, even though we stay in Texas, you know. So so then I mean Seattle, and he was like, hey, how you doing? Like, he's shaking my hand. Like, I was like, oh, okay, what's up? And then we get to his car. He drives either, I can't remember. I'm gonna put a picture of what the car looks like because I don't know the specific name, but I've been in that car so many times I probably should, dealing with the men I had. So then I'm trying to think what happens. Okay, so we get in the car, you know, we driving to go pick up this other girl that worked at the daycare. Mind you, everybody I talk about, the only way I know these people is that we worked at a daycare at the time together. And what was her name? I can't remember. I think her name was like, I'm gonna just call her T. So we go pick up T, and then all of a sudden, why is Seattle driving to the bars at 83 miles per hour, 93 miles per hour? And I was like, first of all, the playlist ain't even that lit. So I told him, give me the aux. He gave me the aux, and I put the playlist on, and you know, playlist was lit. And then he was like, oh, this is a good playlist, da 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 da. And I'm looking at Hannah, and she's not even looking or paying attention to none of the thing. We holding on to the seats for dear life because I was getting scared. Now I can drive fast when I'm the driver, but not when I'm the passenger. You will not do that with me. I'm sorry. I trust nobody else to drive in because I be driving a little crazy myself, and I can't admit that. So then I'm telling him like, you need to slow down because he almost hits another car, and I'm like, you need to slow down. I don't know if y'all pregame too hard, and mind you, they pregame with beatboxes. I don't know how strong beatboxes are, but to me they're not that good and they're not that strong. They just make you start acting all kind of crazy like Canon was acting. So we're gonna continue. So as we're approaching the thing, we have to pull out money to go park because, you know, it's Houston, so you gotta pay to park everywhere. Disgusting, I know. And sorry, I just got a text from my man. New man on the way, y'all. New story time about that one on the way. Then she's talking about like her friend's dad is gonna be over there. Me and T start looking at each other, giving each other the black girl stare like, why is she bringing up your friend's dad? She's like, oh, I just want to meet up with him, you know. I go, whoa, meet up with him? You're with another man who's paying for our drinks tonight. What are you talking about? At the time the banker was coming, but he was still at the basketball game, so the banker is out the window at this point. So then she's telling us, like, you know, she just wants to say hey to him and it's not weird. And then Seattle goes, that is weird. That's your friend's dad. He's like 40-some years old. What do you want to hang out with him for and his friends at the thing? Mind you, she's texting the dad while she's telling Seattle this, and he kind of driving a little bit more crazier. The jealousy with him kicks in immediately, and I'm sitting here like, Hannah, that's not what we want to do. Please, he's driving crazy already. Why are you talking about another man in front of this man? Mind you, an older man. I swear, hold up. So then me and T trying to tell her, like, you know, we don't need to meet up with him, but the bar that the banker was meeting us at is the bar that we had the bar we were going to was the bar that her friend's dad was there at. So mind you, his other friends, I forgot to say this, his other friends are in the car behind us following us there. And then when we got out the car, I see Seattle go over to them, talk to them, and be like, oh, she kind of acting weird and funny, da da da. Like, you know, me and T is already catching up what's up, but we had left. We were getting ready on the way there as well. Mind you, I didn't finish. I got my makeup ready, got my hair ready, but my outfit and everything else, I was still changing the car, putting earrings in, everything else. It was really ghetto. It was real ghetto. You know, that's why they say get ready before you leave the house, so you don't have to bring nothing with you. So we had to leave a whole bunch of stuff in this boy car. And I'm like, Hannah, you know, like, I put her aside. I'm like, you know, you don't have to talk about your friend's dad no more. You know, it's getting a little awkward around here. It's getting a little weird. And she was just like, you know, okay. So she's acting like her happy. So we pre-gaming because they got B-boxes, they got buzz balls. Now the buzz balls will get you messed up. And I had a green one, and me and T drunk that nasty buzz ball and chugged it down and finished it. And see, I was like, oh, he was like, he not drinking. But I was like, how you not drinking but you already drunk before you came and picked me up? The lies just continue. So then we're all walking to the bar to meet the banker. And I guess Seattle didn't pick up that the banker was there for me, because once me and the banker started talking, mind you, this is my first link with him, so I'm acting all shy. I'm kind of like standing holding my homegirl hand, like, I'm scared, y'all. And mind you, this is a white man. I'm scared for real. And I don't know why I was being so scared. I think it was just my anxiety getting the best of me, and that's truly what it was. And we're sitting there talking, and then Hannah gets in the middle. Me, the banker. Hannah comes in the middle like a pack of condiments, talking about something. Hi, I'm Hannah. Da, 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 da. That's literally what she says. And she starts flirting with the banker, and the banker is like, oh yeah, your friend is just like so pretty, da da da, and everything else. And I'm like, I kind of have to look at her. And then Seattle starts cussing a little bit, and he's like, why is she here with da da da? Why would they bring another dude for her? Da da da. I'll lead him right now. And I'm overhearing this, and so it's T. And T trying to talk to Hannah, like, you know what? Back up and let her talk to her man a little bit. And I go next to Seattle. I'm like, that's my guy. I brought him out, not nothing else. So I don't know what you thought this was. And he was like, oh, but she's sitting over here flirting in your face to your man. So is that really your man? I was like, not you clocked my T. You clocked it. You clocked it, Seattle. And I'll give you that one. But let me tell you something. That's going to stop immediately. Because she was being over friendly. Not me. That's the problem. That's the problem with these white girls. They be over friendly. And they will do it in your face. This girl gets some more drinks. At every bar we go to, me and the banker, we're still talking. We sit on this little thing. Sorry, y'all. We sit on this little thing. And we're sitting there talking at this new bar. Well, it was the same bar, but it had a speakeasy in it. I can't remember what the name of the bar is, but it is such a beautiful speakeasy inside. We're sitting there at one of the tables. He orders me a shot. I'm taking the shots. He's ordering beers, and we're waiting on him to finish his beers. Mind you, Seattle's other friends are still with us, and they're kind of like, oh, we want to go somewhere else. You know, the bars ain't that lit right now. I was like, yeah, because we came hella early because of you guys. Y'all was rushing me to get ready. One. So I had to get ready in the rest of my makeup and everything else, hair and everything else, had to get ready up in that boy's car. I know I'm contradicting myself, but I'm trying to emphasize I had to get ready in this boy's car. And I was like, well, we don't want to, where do y'all want to go? And they were like, Galveston. I was like, girl, Galveston, I'm not going to Galveston. Galveston is far. It's like an hour away from where I stay. Well, hour and 40 minutes. I'm not going an hour and 40 minutes to go to the bars out in Galveston when we don't know how we getting back home, because Seattle already tripping. So we already planning we might have to Uber back and share an Uber and stuff. And, you know, stuff just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder. So Hannah's phone starts going off. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm getting too far ahead of myself. So while we're at this bar place, she sits next to him. While me and the banker talking, and he got his hand wrapped around me, she sits next to the banker and goes, you know, what do you like about her? And I go, Hannah, you better get on. And that's literally what I said. You better get on immediately. And I was like, Seattle, come get her. Like, oh my gosh, she's just so bubbly right now. She just misses her. She misses you, you know. She told me so much about you. So come get her immediately. Like she a little dog. Come get this little bit. Come get this little mutt. And he's talking to her. He was like, Hannah, you being too friendly. Like, leave that alone. Da, da, da. He's talking to her. So I'm like, okay, you talking to her a little too rough. I know I said come get her and come pull her leash, but not too much. Not too much. Not in front of me. And so we go to another bar. His friends, at this point, two of his friends left. It was a girl and it was a boy. They left together, and I think they were sleeping together. A whole nother messy situation. The girl was really nice when we met her, but they left, and then one of his homeboys stayed. And so we trying to figure out the car situation, and I was like, oh, we can lap up in the back and everything else. So we figured everything's cool. The banker was like, oh, well, I was gonna need a ride home. Need a ride home? Sir, you invited yourself out. I thought you had your own ride. He was like, you're right, I could Uber. And I was like, yeah, because how you gonna invite yourself out and have no way to get home? Like, don't be expecting me to come figure your stuff out. Like, that's just not gonna happen. And then, so then we going, me and the banker, we walking out hand in hand, like we coupled up or whatever. And why this Hannah was like, look at this. She goes in front of us. Me and him was walking hand in hand. Hannah comes, look at this, raises her skirt up, and you see nothing but her butt. Now mind you, she a white girl with a big booty, so she was big booty Judy, but we did not need to see all of that. No ma'am, we did not need to see all of that. And I was just like, you know what else did y'all drink? Because it could not have been the Buzz Balls and the B-Box that got her this lit if we all drank the same amount. There's just no way. So then T kind of pulls her away, and then T was like, she pulls me away. She's like, we're gonna have a quick talk. We run across the street, and I mean, the guys are following us. And I was like, you know, you can't do that. You gotta stop doing stuff like that. Like, it's really embarrassing me. I don't like that. And then, like, you're doing this when Seattle is our ride back home. And if he decides he doesn't want to take us home, he doesn't have to. You do realize that. She's like, okay, I'm gonna straighten up. She lied. She lied, and we believed her. She lied, and we believed her. Bar. It's called the Blonde Bottle, or the Bottle Blonde, or the Blonde Bottle is where we went. And this was our final bar. Or no, before we went to that bar, we went to a food truck. So at the food truck, Hannah's phone is lighting up, and I'm like, please don't be answering this, because mind you, she just broke up with her ex. And I kind of thought it was her ex at first, but she was like, no, she had blocked him. And I was like, okay, it could just be her mom. So I tell her to answer unknowingly. It's her ex. And this man is telling her, why are you out with Seattle? I didn't know at the time, but they all went to high school together, so that's how he knows who Seattle was. And I was like, well, how does he know that you're out with Seattle right now unless you done told him this? Mind you, she did tell him this. Why are you doing this to us, girl? Because you're putting us in a predicament. So she's crying, and I'm like, Hannah, you know, just hang up the phone, girl. Like, let's choose peace right now, please. Because Seattle walks over to us, and he had just paid for her food, and he's like, why the F are you still on the phone with such and such? I can't even remember the boy name. I'm gonna call him Grayson. She's like, why are you on the phone with Grayson and you're here with me? Like, that don't make no sense. The banker looking at me, I'm looking at him. I'm like, please, this is getting more and more and more and more, not just embarrassing, sorry, not just embarrassing, but it's getting more and more, it's building up. So she was like, she didn't like that, the fact that Seattle was confronting her, so she yells at him, and She runs away down the street. I yell her name. I'm like, Hannah, come back. She comes back finally after her and Seattle get into an argument down the street. And I did see her slap him. She slapped him, y'all. She slapped this man. And how are you going to slap him when you're dead wrong? I just did not understand that. And I go, ooh, I turned to Banker. He was like, well, I'm so glad you're not acting like that right now, because I promise you, me and you would not be talking more. And I was like, low-key, Banker, shut up. Because you're the one who invited yourself out here, so this is what you signed up for. Even though he didn't sign up for none of that. I just like to, you know, poke back at it, man. Because what do you mean? If I was acting like that, you better be lucky I'm not acting crazier. You know? I'm just kidding. But so then they come back. She gets her food. And then Seattle, like, telling her, like, you're wrong for hitting me. Which she's right. You're wrong for hitting me and all this other stuff. And she grabs the french fries. She smushes them together and throws them on the ground and goes running again. Now, did we chase her? Because we're trying to figure out where is she going. Yes, we did. And I'm like, Hannah, where are you going? What the heck? Mind you, police is passing us by. What does it look like that it's a white girl in a white dress with cowgirl boots on, and it's like 5 different black people chasing after her? It looks crazy. It looks crazy that we're stopped, because at some point we stop and she finally sits down and somebody picked back up her food and handed it back to her, and she's sitting there crying. And Seattle was like, you know what, no, me and her need to talk. And I was like, I'm not sure if y'all need to really talk. And he was like, yeah, we do. You know, we need to figure stuff out, because this is about us right now. This is not a love story. This is not a love story, sir. What are you talking? This is not a movie either. This is not a movie. And that's how he was talking. And I was like, you know what, just whatever. She's like, yeah, I need to talk to him and tell him a few things and get a few things off my chest. I'm sitting like, Hannah, no, you don't need to get shit off your chest, because we still need to get home. Okay? And we go on a blonde bottle, leaving them 2 alone. And I know I probably shouldn't have left her out there, but at that time I was angry, because we didn't really get to enjoy our night, because all throughout the night she kept running away and kept doing stupid stuff, and it was kind of just like, girl, like, you're ruining it for me. And so we finally go into the blonde bottle. The banker orders me a shot, he orders me another drink, and then he orders a beer. Every time he orders a beer, mind you, every time he orders a beer, y'all, at any place we went to, the beer just broke. But at this place, it specifically broke twice. And the second time he ordered it, it broke on me. So I was even irritated with him. I was like, you're ordering another beer, bro? Like, you do not need beer like that. I'm sorry, beer cannot be that good. I've had beer, and it is that good. It is. But it's not that good for you. So put it down. And, you know, sis, she comes inside, she apologizes to me, she's like, hey, I want to talk to you. So we go outside, we sitting at the little, it's a little metro train thing that you sit down at, because Houston got them all around, and we're sitting there, and she's like, you know, I feel like I'm such a bad person right now. I've been running around doing all this other stuff. And I was like, Hannah, you're not a bad person, you're just going through it, and I understand how like your ex is affecting you right now, but you're dead wrong right now. Like, I really need you to tighten up. And she was like, you know what, I'm gonna tighten up, and I'm gonna do this, that, and the third, and I'm gonna apologize to everyone. And I was like, and then I didn't appreciate that you sitting here flirting with the guy that I brought out for me. And she was like, I wasn't trying to flirt, I was just being friendly. And I was like, okay, but you being overly friendly, like, boo, it's not cute. It's not. It's not. And she was like, okay. And she's kind of crying, and I'm like, I don't know what to do when people start crying when they cause the situation. Like, it was weird, because why are you crying when you caused this? I don't get that. So then we go back inside, we having a good time. Her and Seattle is dancing and talking, and I'm dancing on the banker, throwing it back, you know, trying to get that money from him. But so as the night goes on, she goes back to the banker and asks him, what does he like about me again? And I'm like, you know what, I'm tired of this. Seattle calls her out in front of us, and it's like, you being too effing friendly and da-da-da this. And he calling her out. Like, when I mean he's calling her out, he's calling her out. At this time, we didn't know this, but her ex, I guess when Hannah picked up the phone while she had ran away, she told him that we was chasing her. And so he called her mom and was telling her that, and her mom was calling her. And so we just took this whole thing outside. Hannah runs outside not only does she run, but she runs far, and I'm yelling at her to bring her back because ain't nobody finna chase her. And so I was just telling the banker, you know, the night's gonna end here, you know, you could just go home and everything else. He was like, yeah, I'm Uber, did you want to come over? I was like, come over for what? He was like, I don't know if you wanted your back rubbed or something. And I was like, boy, you think I want my back rubbed after all of this? I mean, I deserve the back rub, but not from you. Not from you right now, boy, please. Your beer bottle just spilled on me because you can't put the beer down. You think I want a back rub from you? No. So then we end up walking around, me and T, and we end up finding, well, me, T, and then his homeboy, Bernie. I don't even think that was his name. It was something, but Bernie, we end up walking around. We end up finding her in Seattle at this like place that had no lights on, no nothing on, and they sitting there, and she's sitting there crying. I'm like, Hannah, can we just go? And she was like, okay. When we get to the car, you know, she's still sitting there crying. What are you crying for if you've caused all this? You kind of, and you know, that's why this Keith Crawford and Ricky and Nazyia drama, and I hate that everybody act like they can't say Nazyia name, and I hate when it be such a really simplistic way to say it, and y'all just Nazyia, like, it's Nazyia, y'all. It's not that hard to say, and y'all acting like it's hard to say. It's not. Y'all are ridiculous. But how you gonna cry about a situation you started? So then when we get to the car, she telling me, oh, she can't sit in the back because I'm telling her to go sit in the back. She's like, oh, I can't sit in the back. I got motion sickness. I was like, let me tell you something. That little princess stuff ain't gonna work with me because this whole time you've been acting up. You have motion sickness, but you running up and down the street with alcohol in your system. That's a lie. So I was like, I have motion sickness too, girl. I'm not sitting in the back. And she was like, no, I just want to sit in the front with Seattle. So I was like, you know what, F it, I don't really care. So we get in the back. Me, so it's T, Bernie, me. Or no, it's T, me, Bernie. And then Seattle's driving and Hannah's in the front. And so then she says something. I forget what she said. She said something and it ticks me off. And I started dogging her out for real. Because I know I shouldn't have done that in front of Seattle and Bernie. But it was like, you're playing with me now. And because she blamed, oh, what happened was that she blamed this whole night as to why it went wrong on all of us. And I was like, I know I shouldn't have dogged her out like this, but I was like, you know what, I'm tired of this. Because anybody tells you your stink, and they do, because you're sitting here causing problems all because of your ex, and you want to get back with him but can't admit that, and then you're sleeping with Seattle at the same time. So all of this was caused by you, and that's what I'm letting her know. And then she goes like this to the dashboard, hits her head on the dashboard, and then tries to take the wheel and hit the side wall of the highway, almost killing us multiple times. And she was just like, you know what, fuck you, da 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 da. Then she gets really silent, and then I think about it, who is she talking to? Because I look around, I was like, T, she can't be talking to me. And T was like, girl, it's at this time, T is texting our other black friends at this daycare. She was like, it's going down, Nazyia going off, it's all bad, da, 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 da. And I'm gonna play a clip. Now, it may sound like I'm being annoying in this moment, but I'm really not, because at this point, she causing all this drama. She almost killed us, and she's blaming the reason why the night went bad was because of us. So afterwards, she was like, you know, you really didn't have to do that. And I was like, well, you really didn't have to run away. So we drop her off. Her brother comes to the door, and she's like, she don't want to talk to Seattle. Then Seattle drops T off, and then Seattle drops me off. And I was like, dang, I'm so sorry, bro. It didn't even have to be like this. He was like, no, it's not even your fault. Like, it really was hers. And then, you know, the next day she calls me and she was like, hey, I was like, Hannah, what was that last night? Like, that was sick. Like, I've never experienced nothing like that. Like, and I never want to experience anything like that again. She's like, I'm just going through a lot. And I was like, I understand that, but then you blamed everything on us last night, which wasn't fair when it was your fault. And then you were being over friendly with the banker. What was that about? We supposed to be cool, and here you go doing stupid stuff like that. And she just couldn't explain it. And that just, ever since then, I've never wanted to go out, y'all. So that was the end of the video. That was the end of the video. But y'all should catch me playing stuff on stream. That's the content girl. Go follow me on TikTok, because I'm trying to be more consistent on there.
You said I can't trust in you.